You're not failing at life, you're living in emergency mode. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up tired, check your phone, see bills, messages, responsibilities, and you already feel behind, like you haven't even brushed your teeth yet, and life is already asking for everything? And you start thinking, why am I always struggling? Why does everyone else seem to be doing better? Why can't I just get it together? If that sounds like you, it's like, I want you to breathe for a second, because what if I told you you're not failing at life? You're just stuck in survival mode and nobody ever taught you how to get out. Let's talk about that. Now, let's talk about what emergency mode actually does to your brain, because this part is important. When you're under constant stress, your brain switches into something called short term thinking. It says, don't think about next year, think about next week. Don't think about retirement, think about rent. Don't think about growth, think about survival. So your brain starts prioritizing quick relief, immediate comfort, small escapes, temporary peace. That's why you order takeout even when money's tight. You buy something small to feel better. You procrastinate on finances. You avoid budgets. You avoid emails. You avoid calls, not because you're careless, because your brain is tired. It wants a break. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack all day. At some point, you're going to sit down, even if it's not the right time. Emergency mode creates something called decision fatigue. Every day you're deciding which bill do I pay first? Can I afford gas? Can I afford food? Can I afford this appointment? That's hundreds of tiny stress decisions. So by evening, your brain is done. It's like, I'm out. Give me Netflix, give me scrolling, give me anything that doesn't require thinking. And then you feel guilty. I wasted another night. I should be doing better. I'm so undisciplined. No, you're mentally exhausted. There's also something called scarcity mindset. When resources feel limited, your brain becomes obsessed with them. Money feels scarce. Time feels scarce. Energy feels scarce. So you become hyper focused on what you lack, not what you're building. That creates anxiety. And anxiety kills creativity. It kills long term planning. It kills confidence. That's why people in emergency mode often feel stuck. Not because they lack ability, because their brain doesn't feel safe enough to think big. Your mind is like, let's not dream, let's survive. And here's another thing nobody talks about. When you're in survival mode too long, you start losing trust in yourself. You think, I always mess up. I can't get ahead. Why even try? But really, you've been fighting uphill with weights on your back in bad weather while people on flat roads tell you to just walk faster. That messes with your confidence. It makes you doubt your intelligence, your worth, your future. But look at your history. You're still here. You've survived things that once felt impossible. You figured out rent. You figured out food. You figured out problems. That's strength, not failure. Emergency mode also makes you emotionally numb sometimes. You stop feeling excited. You stop feeling hopeful. Life becomes wake up, work, stress, sleep, repeat. That's not because you're boring. It's because your nervous system is overloaded. Like a phone with too many apps open, everything slows down. So if you've been feeling flat, disconnected, or blah, that's not who you are. That's burnout. And burnout is a response to pressure, not a personality flaw. Let's start here. Most people think they're bad at life because they're tired all the time, unmotivated, stressed about money, behind on goals, and constantly feeling like they're playing catch up. But that's not laziness. That's not weakness. That's emergency mode. Emergency mode is what happens when your brain believes on some level that you're not safe, not physically unsafe, but financially unsafe, emotionally unsafe, mentally unsafe. It's when your mind feels like, I don't have enough. I'm one problem away from disaster. I can't relax because something might go wrong. So your nervous system stays on high alert all the time. Imagine driving a car with the gas pedal pushed down nonstop, no brakes, no rest, no slowing down. Eventually, the engine overheats. That's you. When you're in emergency mode, your brain is focused on one thing: survive today, not build wealth, plan the future, follow dreams, create healthy routines. Just how do I get through this week? So if you jump from paycheck to paycheck, feel guilty when you rest, can't focus, feel numb sometimes, avoid looking at your bank account, feel anxious for no clear reason, scroll on your phone late at night because your mind won't shut up. That's not because you're irresponsible. That's because your brain thinks you're in danger and it's trying to protect you. Here's the wild part: your body reacts to money stress the same way it reacts to physical danger, late bills, debt, unstable income, rising prices. Your brain hears threat, threat, threat. So it releases stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, the same chemicals you'd get if a bear was chasing you. But instead of a bear, it's rent, it's groceries, it's car repairs, it's medical bills, it's unexpected expenses. So you're basically being chased by invisible bears every month. No wonder you're tired. No wonder you feel overwhelmed. And when you live like this for years, it becomes your normal. You forget what calm feels like. You forget what safety feels like. You think this is just adulthood. No, this is burnout disguised as responsibility. And society makes it worse because everywhere you look, you see hustle harder, grind, no excuses. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it. But nobody says, hey, what if you're exhausted because you've been surviving too long? Nobody says, maybe you're not unmotivated, maybe you're overwhelmed. So you blame yourself. You think other people manage. Why can't I? But you don't see their full story. You don't see family support, safety nets, paid off houses, no medical debt, no dependents, no trauma, no constant emergencies. You're comparing your survival mode to their stability. That's not fair and it's not honest. You're not broken. You're tired of fighting invisible fires every day, and nobody ever told you that counts as hard work. Now, let's talk about something hopeful. You can leave emergency mode, not overnight, not with some magic trick, but slowly, gently, without becoming someone you're not. The first step is safety, not millionaire safety, basic safety. Your brain needs small proof that things are okay. So start tiny, not huge budgets, not extreme plans, tiny. Example, instead of I'm going to fix my entire financial life, try. I'm going to look at my bank account for 5 minutes and that's it. No judgment, no panic, just look. That tells your brain, I can face this. Next, create one small financial cushion, even $50, even $100. Call it your breathing money, not emergency fund, not savings, breathing money. Money that says one thing can go wrong and I won't collapse. That changes your nervous system more than you think. Another step, simplify. Emergency mode thrives on chaos. Too many accounts, too many bills, too many subscriptions. Once a month, ask, what can I remove? One app, one service, one expense, not to punish yourself, to give yourself peace. Also, talk to yourself differently. When you mess up, instead of, I'm so stupid, try, I'm learning under pressure. When you're behind, instead of I'm failing, Try I'm overloaded. It sounds small, it's huge. Your brain listens to you. Next, build rest into your life, not lazy rest, real rest, rest without guilt. 10 minutes of quiet, a walk, sitting without phone. Your nervous system needs proof that it's allowed to relax. Otherwise, it stays alert forever. And yes, you still have responsibilities. Yes, you still have bills. This isn't about ignoring reality, it's about facing reality without self hate. Another powerful move, predictable routines. Emergency mode hates unpredictability, so give yourself anchors. Example: same time coffee, same morning walk, same weekly money check, same Sunday reset. It tells your brain there's structure, we're okay, and don't try to change everything at once. That's another survival trap. Pick one area, just one: money, sleep, food, movement. Fix it slowly. Progress in one area creates hope in others. Finally, ask for support, not because you're weak, because humans aren't meant to survive alone. Talk to someone, watch supportive content, learn. You're allowed to get help. You're allowed to not know everything. You're allowed to grow slowly. This is your life, not a race. Here's what nobody tells you about leaving survival mode: it's emotional, not just practical. You're not just changing habits, you're rebuilding trust. Trust in yourself, trust in life, trust in tomorrow. For a long time, your brain learned things are unstable, nothing lasts, don't get comfortable. So when things start improving, you might feel anxious. You might think, when is it going to fall apart? That's normal. That's old programming. You're not pessimistic. You're cautious from experience. So be patient with yourself. Celebrate small wins. Paid a bill on time. That's a win. Saved $20. Win. Didn't panic this month. Big win. Stayed calm and stress. Huge win. You're rewiring your brain. That takes time. Also, start imagining a future again. Not fantasy, not pressure, just gentle hope. Ask, what would a calm life look like for me? Maybe it's no credit card panic, a quiet morning, one vacation a year, a little savings, less anxiety. That's enough. You don't need luxury, you need peace, and peace is possible. Slowly, steadily. You're already proving it by watching this. You're learning, you're reflecting, you're trying. That matters. You're not lazy, you're not behind, you're not broken. You adapted to a hard system, you survived. Now you're learning how to live, and that's brave. That's powerful. That's something to be proud of. So if today all you did was show up, try again, not give up, that's success. Full stop. You don't need to fix yourself. You need support, stability, time, and you're building it one step at a time, one calm choice at a time, one kind thought at a time. You're doing better than you think. And if this video helped you feel even a little calmer, a little less alone, a little more hopeful, you'll probably like the next one too. So feel free to subscribe and stay with this community. No pressure, just a space where we learn, grow, and breathe together. You deserve that. And I'm really glad you're here.